Sky Striker is an archetype that debuted in Deck Build Pack, Dark Savers and Dark Saviors in the TCG. One of the best Lynx decks of all time. Since its inception it was known that it would be a deck top, also its playability with Magic was special, a deck of that style had never come out. The best thing about the Sky Striker deck is that it has always been played in a pure version, although in some format it was played with True Draco, but after the Sky Striker Engage ban, that version died. As I mentioned before, the strongest blow this deck has received is the Engage ban along with the limitation of Sky Striker Anchor and Multirole, although that did not hurt as much. The deck before the reprints in the Mega Tins was very expensive, each Engage cost around 70 DLLs in its highest stage. But well, nowadays it returned to the goal and in a very special way, since the deck is not complete, but it emerged very strongly in recent months with completely control versions. His way of playing is to wear down his opponent with recoverable resources each turn. All Sky Striker spells, with the exception of the continuous multi-role and field area 0, cannot be activated while you control a monster in the main monster zones and gain extra effects while you have 3 or more spell cards in your GY. The overall strategy of the deck is thus patience, wearing down opponents with repeated disruption and the mass recovery effect of multi-role, getting in large bursts of damage when the field opens up. Thanks to multi-role, the deck has no problems ending every turn with 3 to 4 set spells for disrupting the opponent, which can be mixed in with powerful traps like Solemn Strike and Infinite Impermanence. The Sky Striker deck uses a copious count of spells, which is this archetype's core tenet. Equally as decisive for this deck's success is the maintenance of spell resources and special summoning the Sky Striker Ace Link monsters. If you are enjoying the video, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Alright, now let's go with the side deck cards. Anti-Spell Fragrance. Excellent card against any type of deck that uses spell cards in an abusive way. In addition to serving against any pendulum deck. The most important advantage this card gives you is that you force your opponent to wait a turn to start playing. That is perfect, it gives you the turn you need to leave an established field, or it gives you the option to destroy their magic placed on the field. We recommend you use this side deck card when you go on the first turn. The price of this in its cheapest version should not cost you more than $1. Any Kaiju. Since the launch of the Kaiju, the side deck changed, the Kaijus are excellent cards to take down the strongest fields. This is due to the fact that its special and inert summoning form allows it to tribute any monster from your opponent. In short, it can remove any monster that causes you problems such as those that deny effects. There is a great variety of Kaijus in Yu-Gi-Oh, but the cheapest ones serve the main function. We recommend you use these monsters as a side deck when you go on the second turn. The price of the cheap ones is between $1 and $2, although the most expensive will be the Gamecial Kaiju, which can cost $5 or $8 depending on its rarity. Twin Twister. The best card to destroy spells and traps, must have for the sideboard versus decks that set many cards. Also, if you have a deck that benefits from sending cards from your hand, the cost makes it an advantage. A very good example would be the deck Orchest. Twin Twister serves you both as a first turn and as a second, since when it is quick play, it helps you destroy cards placed at the end of your opponent's turn and thus take advantage of the game on your turn. It is an excellent option since in these times, this card is already in almost all rarities, so its lowest rarity price should not cost more than $2 or $3. Cosmic Cyclone. The same as Twin, except that instead of destroying this one it will remove it from the game, although it will only be one card. Another advantage over Twin Twister is that you should not discard card from your hand, instead the cost is to pay 1,000 life points. It is also a quick play card, and you can take advantage of that to remove spell or trap cards at the end of your opponent's turn. The biggest benefit is that many spells or traps activate effects in the graveyard, but with Cosmic Cyclone removing them you negate in advance any such effect in the graveyard. Denko Sekka. If your deck does not use cards that are placed in your magic or cheat zone, Denko is an excellent option for your deck. Since with this card you will be able to neutralize all the cards face down, since it cannot be activated while you control Denko Sekka. In addition to having an incredible quality, your opponent will not be able to place more magic or traps on the field. It has a good attack, and will help you achieve OTK more easily. Its lowest rarity price is approximately $1. If you are enjoying the video, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Spell Canceller. Like Anti-Spell, this counter works against decks that use spell cards. It also works against any pendulum deck, denying its effects on pendulum zones. A card not widely used currently in the current format, but it is still a viable option, if you can easily invoke a tribute summons on your deck. We recommend using this side deck card when you go on the first turn, although if you are interested in denying the field you can also take it on the second turn. The price of this in its cheapest version should not cost you more than $1. DD Crow. Of the first-hand traps in the Yu-Gi-Oh game, it really is very good against almost all decks since playing with the graveyard is currently unavoidable. Use it wisely, chain it to the effects that target and thus lose benefits. It is very useful against top decks, recovering cards from the graveyard is basic in them. I recommend you use this card when you go on the first turn. So if you touch on the first hand, you can interrupt your opponent from the beginning of the game. For the price, don't worry, this card is very cheap. Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. One of the best cards against the extra deck, with a unique effect in the Yu-Gi-Oh game. If you have space on your extra deck, take advantage of it using this side deck card. Being able to send monsters from your opponent before he uses them will give you a lot of advantage in the game. I recommend you use this side deck card when you go on the first turn. Since the condition to use it is that your opponent controls more monsters than you. It is very economical, you should not spend more than $1 to get a copy. Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill. If your quest is to negate the effects of specially summoned monsters, this is one of the best cards. It was released recently, but it is a very good card. The ability to negate monster effects, at any phase of the turn, except damage step, is what makes it very strong. This is because another very similar card effect Veiler, practically does the same, but no. Veiler can only be used in your opponent's main phase, that is, it is limited to one phase. With Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill this will not be the case, as well as having an extra direct damage effect. Its price currently in June 2020, is around $35. Evenly Matched. This card has managed to change the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Since his departure in Circuit Break a long time ago. There is no trap that I do something like this, being able to level the game at least in number of cards on the field is something very strong. With this card you can remove monsters, spells and traps face down. In addition to that you can activate it from the hand when you do not control in the field. As a cost we could say that you will only lose the battle phase if it is your turn when you activate it. Its price is somewhat high since it is one of the best side deck cards and it only has 3 prints. In its cheapest version you can find it in $25, this price was checked in June 2020, so if you see the video on another date the price could change. Lightning Storm. The best card for mass destruction of monsters, spell or trap cards. A card that combines Reijeki or Harpy Feather Duster effects, with the option to use one effect or the other. The only requirement this card asks of you is that you do not control any other face-up card on the field. It is to be expected that this card, being a secret rare, with a single impression, its price is high. In the United States market, the price of this card reaches $100, even more. In short, the best Yu-Gi-Oh! Side deck card. Artifact Sanctum. This card has been in Yu-Gi-Oh! For a long time and unfortunately only in recent years it has been noticed. It has great potential, and it is used a lot of side deck in competitive tournaments such as regional and WCQ. To start you not only need this card, you have to match it with the monster that makes the match very good. This is another artifact. To be more specific, it is Artifact Side. We did not mention the side deck monster since the trap is what is important. With it we can summon it directly from our deck, and thus activate the effect of Artifact Side, which will not allow your opponent to make summons from the extra deck. I recommend using this first turn card, since it is a trap and you need to place it one turn earlier on the field. The price of Side is very cheap, but that of Sanctum is not so much, around $10. Thanks for watching the video. I invite you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the best Yu-Gi-Oh decks. Also your subscription is useful for you to enter to next the giveaways.